Thank you so much, Aniket, for joining me today. We're really excited to have the chance to get to know you and learn more about Circle's Core. Welcome to the audience joining us today. I'm Urvashi, the technical community champion at JumpCloud. We are really excited to share how organizations around the world are dealing with the challenges of digital and identity transformation. We say this a lot at JumpCloud, connecting people to the technology that they need, to get their jobs done and be productive might be the most important role and challenge that an IT organization faces. Not to mention the security challenges we're all dealing with, and it makes the job even more difficult. So, we wanted to share best practices, lessons learned, and advice from the very best in the world. So, with that, let's get started. Aniket, you are the CISO at Circles Co. Could you tell us a bit more about Circles, your role at the company, and your journey with them?
Yeah, so Urvashi, first of all, thanks, right, actually, for selecting me to have my views on this topic, right, actually, and just kind of like getting some time around. So yeah, right. So considering my role at Circles, so yeah, I mean, like I'm in the role of a CISO, right, where I am expected to make sure that the Circle cybersecurity is up to the mark with industry standards, actually, with best possible controls deployed, right, which makes the overall risk posture pretty much under the control, right? Um, I've been with Circle since 9 months, right? So it's been like I joined in April. It's been 9 months, amazing journey, understanding their business landscape, right? Overall environments, right? The regulatory aspects. Circles as a business, we deal with the telcos, right? Actually, we provide our B2B platform CXOX to the telco, claiming that, hey, we provide the most optimized digital transformation journey to various legacy telco infrastructure, both for customer journeys and infrastructure optimization and all those aspects around it, right? Plus, we also have some B2C aspects, right? The eSIMs and all that stuff around actually. So it's a cool stuff, right? So amazing kind of like product platform, right? Which embeds with critical infrastructure, which is telco, right? And when we say about digital transformation in whole of this zone, it's a completely different ball game, right? I mean, like a lot of things are expected to be done there. So that's what it is, right? Myself and the circles and all, and it seems like exciting journey.
Yeah, there definitely is. And I think speaking of critical infrastructure and managing and maintaining, your critical infrastructure internally, how did you first come across JumpCloud? And like, what were some of the challenges that it helped you solve?
Yeah, good question, first of all, right? Actually, so let me tell you about my introduction to JumpCloud, right? So I was introduced to JumpCloud in my previous organization, right? So which is one of the most Southeast Asian core super app brand, actually, right? So I did spend around 5.5 years with them, and JumpCloud was already present there, right? So JumpCloud is having their own journey with that organization since last 9, 10 years, right? So that's where I was introduced to JumpCloud in 2017 with them, correct? And when I joined Circles 9 months ago, right? Luckily, unluckily, fortunately, unfortunately, JumpCloud was already present in this organization. So it was definitely not me, right, who came in and who has to endorse and kind of like get. It was already there, right, in this organization. And like, yeah, that's how I got introduced to JumpCloud automatically, actually, to this beautiful platform, first of all, right?
So, what are some of the challenges that it helped you solve?
Yeah, so see, I mean, when we say about challenges and something like JumpCloud, right, actually, it deals a lot with identity and access management, right? And when we talk about like digital transformation or digital service providing organization, SaaS and all, right? If it is B2C and B2B and both hybrid like us, right? I told you about critical infrastructure. It in itself brings in lot of complicated kind of like environments, right? So when I tell you about critical infrastructure and all, what do you mean by that actually, correct? These are the most legacy hybrid kind of infrastructures, right? where users are involved, service accounts are involved, devices are involved, specific cloud environments are involved, sometimes mix of all of those, sometimes physical and cloud, right? And bunch of other things, right? And this whole big jiggle and giggle, if you want to implement a structured identity and access management for an organization that claims that we provide you an amazing digital SaaS B2B or B2C service, right? Technically, it's very difficult. And there where this JumpCloud like platform comes into the picture, which you can customize as per your needs. When I say customize, right, actually, first of all, I have to divide my whole of the segment into structures. What is my enterprise structures? How are my users? What are my devices? What are the flavors of my devices? How are my service accounts created? What are the policies around all these facts, right? User accounts, devices, service accounts. What are my enterprise applications actually? That you should divide into different categories, class A, class B, class C, right? Then your infrastructure, which is like your development infrastructure, your actual production infrastructure, the shared environment, and everything, right? Actually. So customizing all these things, laying it into a structured format and connecting with the jump clouds solves my first problem, right? Because you organize your world based on your needs and based on your design actually. So JumpCloud doesn't comes up with his own design, right? Actually, they give you an opportunity to create and design that whole kind of a hierarchy and landscape where you can all systematically connect all these aspects and embed the functionalities one by one in a layered form actually. So that's the number one challenge. I can customize my left hand side as much as I can actually to map my environment and make it portable and compatible.
I think that's really great to hear because, as you said, just getting organized and just knowing where everything is definitely the first step. So now that you were able to get all of those things in place and get all of your custom policies and integrations and configurations put together, can we talk a bit more about like compliance and security? So how did JumpCloud help you, with your risk management and your risk register?
Yeah. So see, being a cybersecurity in charge, right? Actually, when it comes to business and when it comes to say CEO offices, or if you want to represent something to the regulators and boards, right? Actually, the language of risk is the key language which is talked, right? And when it comes to access management, right, your privilege accesses, your administrative accesses, these are always the key risks if they are not managed appropriately, right? And now let's tie back the compliance parameters which comes in action actually. Now, based on your business needs, right? It's not just about circles I'm talking about. Suppose you are into fintech, actually, right? Then you will have many compliant kind of regulators on your back, which will be expecting some cybersecurity landscapes, right? To be embedded over there. With those angles, correct, it always drill down to how are you protecting your data, and in that data protection, how are you making sure that access is implemented accurately, right? If you go to the ISO, same thing comes into action. There is a big section which expects, hey, how are you applying your access controls, right? So the compliance and risks goes hands in hand actually. So you take on the top risk, correct? That hey, I have a loose privilege access control. What do you mean by that actually? That there are some infrastructure components or some applications actually, right, who are having administrative privileges, and if they are exploited actually, right, then we get into breach oriented conditions, or we break some regulatory control based on which we may get penalties and fines. Now, this is where JumpCloud comes in actions to neutralize these specific risks in a systematic way. First, it gives you a very ease to make sure that specific account is authenticated in a centralized mode very nicely, very easily. Actually, you can implement a lot of policies on that, right? Like password changing policy or like activation, deactivation, termination, notifications, bunch of things, right? All those things you can implement around over there, design it appropriately, and make sure that it is securely operational, right? And then JumpCloud definitely has that layered functionality, right? This is what I talked about, authentication. Then there is a second layer of authorization, right? Then you have got your JumpCloud Protect, and then we can implement 2FA, the SSO comes in action, we can configure the MFA afterwards. So that's all defense in depth layer of a IAM beautification and the strengthening that you can implement through this JumpCloud as a platform, right? And once you do all these things, right, now then I can say these are the basic implementations that we have done for these kind of critical and complex infrastructures, which are directly going to satisfy your compliance requirements as well, right? So these are these get converted into the controls, obviously, the compliance controls, right? And then you need to make sure that it is operationalized well. There are traces and tracks that how are you managing all these accounts and all everything devices, right? Quarterly and yearly with statistics and all those aspects, right? So that's how it is. The risks, the compliance, and how this JumpCloud is helping me to satisfy all these things in a structured way.
Yeah, I think having that kind of visibility into what is happening and, as you said, running those reports quarterly, half yearly, as often as you need it is key to the process. And I actually really love the term IAM beautification. I think I really want to get like a JumpCloud t-shirt that says IAM beautician. So I'm going to use that internally and pitch for that t-shirt. So
I am
taking a step back, sorry.
I am beautification.
Yes, I love it. I'm going to pitch for a t-shirt. So taking a step back, the IDP space is primarily dominated by Active Directory, as we all know. So given companies that may already have that kind of existing on-prem infrastructure or legacy identity management, as we call it, why do you think they should consider independent or cloud IDPs or JumpCloud for that matter?
Yeah, so see, I mean, like you're very correct, right? You just mentioned about Active Directory, right? So it's a very respectful product. They are the pioneers of this whole landscape, actually, right? And they have done some amazing things, right? No doubt in that front. But when we talk about like startups, right? When we talk about like growth phase organizations, actually, or the organizations, right, who are getting digitally transformed and their businesses are getting converted into B2B kind of a deployments, actually, where they're going to interact with a lot of different infrastructures, right? So in our case, right, actually, now we are a cloud agnostic kind of a preferred organization, right? Our solution is universal. You can plug into kind of like AWS, GCP, and other hybrid kind of infrastructures that we have, right? So generally, definitely, we need something actually which is definitely not cloud native, right? Which is very cloud agnostic, right? Very much portable in any environment actually, with a superior kind of a compatibility, right? And if that easiness is not there, right, then it's very difficult, right, to even pitch a POC in front of a customer, right? So that's where I feel this JumpCloud comes in very, very handy, right? As it is already listed in AWS Marketplace, right? It is already partnered with GCP as well, right? And yeah, I mean, in all across the globe, majority of the folks are over here actually, and you can just kind of like integrate anywhere, even in Azure, right? Actually, so that's the major reason, right? That B2B business dealing with critical infrastructure, ease of customization, right? And cloud agnostic kind of a model that we have, right? That's where this perfectly, first of all, fits with us, satisfies all the requirements, and might be it's going to fit with all other customers as well, actually, right? And last one is the outstanding support that we get, right? So I'm not talking about my personal opinion of the support I am getting, but yeah, I mean, like the support that JumpCloud gives to their customer is amazing, actually, right? So I know, I mean, like in my experience, we had a couple of kind of like uh, downtimes, right? And the way we were picked up easily with the quick support and the resolutions, that was amazing. Within 15 minutes, everything was on track, right? So multiple factors are there, right? So, and that's where I feel this is an amazing platform with amazing team backing this whole business and platform, actually, right? So that's what I personally feel. And that's why people should definitely connect with you guys and understand it more better.
That's really great to hear that you've received the support that you needed and your downtime and things were minimized. That's fantastic. Coming back to more of the cloud integrations and integrations with other SaaS apps and SaaS providers, I hear that Circles has a great deployment of Google Workspace and JumpCloud integrated. Could you tell us about how that was set up and why it's been so successful for you?
Yeah, so see, I mean, like, so now Google Workspace is something like it is getting utilized across the globe, almost by everyone actually, right? I mean, like at least the way I was there in so many organizations, Google Workspace was always there, right? Now, when we talk about Google Workspace in a startup kind of an environment or a company which is in growth phase, right? Actually, which is already into an established organization, over the period of time, the utilization of this workspace increases to its peak. Just imagine so many documentations, presentations are created. Almost all the components of the workspace are getting utilized at its best, right? Your emails are there, your presentations are there, your documentations are there, your calendars are there, everything, right? Actually, whatever it is. Now, with this specific integration, right? The access control that you plan to apply on whole of the Google Workspace actually through this integration is very easy for us. The delegation of the identities and the policies that we want to do, right? Actually, it's very streamlined, right? When we connect these two dots. And I think there is a big, long way to go in this direction. I think for JumpCloud and even for the Google Workspace, this is just a beginning, and there are a lot of amazing things going to happen in future. But right now, I see that my big whole chunk in terms of access control on Google Workspace is interfaced very easily into my centralized IAM when it comes to JumpCloud, actually, right?
I think I my entire personal and professional life is organized in Google Workspace. So I completely agree with the criticality of that infrastructure. And I keep hearing you saying that the ease of integration is what is the major game changer in terms of JumpCloud integration. So that's fantastic. Also, you said that this is just a starting point, and there is a lot more that can be done. Could you give us an idea of what your dream jump cloud feature would be if you had a magic wand and you could get whatever you wanted?
Yeah, so there are multiple of those actually, right? There are definitely multiple of those. So number one, right? Number one is like whole of my access telemetry. I would love that JumpCloud provides me an amazing, crisp, clear, one of the detailed access telemetry when it comes from like all the identity executions that is happening across my enterprise, across my networks everywhere, right? So it is directly interfaced with my threat intelligence, and we can normalize and beautify it and make it more stronger, and my alerting and all can go in action. Second is privilege access management, right? So I know, I mean, like it's a very broader topic. There are a lot of beautiful solutions into the market when it comes to privilege access management, but the overall deal is a very costly deal when it comes to the cost optimization, right? Now, if this platform plans to embed something, right, on privilege access management, it will be one of an amazing win, to be frank, right? At both ends, right? We can get that in the most cost effective, highly optimized way. And yeah, that can be a great addition, right? In moving ahead.
Awesome.
I think
We
these
have
two are
heard
the
you.
key ones. There's a big list, but these two are the key ones.
Awesome. We've heard you, and I've made a list, and I will definitely pass that on internally. And I'm sure you're also having those discussions with us. Coming to maybe a bigger picture question, what are your thoughts on the future of identity, security, device management? Where do you see us going in the next, say, 10, 20 years?
So, see, I mean, like, we will definitely talk about the next 10 to 20 years, actually. But if you reflect back into the past 10 to 20 years, right, like 20 years back, access management was just something like, hey, you are getting authenticated, right? Authorization was just kind of a sense somewhere, actually, because the concerns were very less, right? But in this 20 years, the world has dabbled and kind of like penetrated into the terms like privacy and sensitivity, right? Actually, and digital data management and data regulatory aspects, and a lot of data transfer from one end to another end, right? Actually. So now Coming to this JumpCloud, right? I mentioned about cloud agnostic, the most central kind of a platform, right? In next phase of your journey for next couple of decades, high-end automation utilizing all your APIs, right, actually can turn this entire ball game to optimize the operations in the most cost efficient method, right? So that is the another angle. And I believe JumpCloud is having an amazing list of APIs actually. Most of them are really hidden as well. Actually, they are not easily available. We just need to get into it, and we find that okay, there is a big list of APIs actually, right? So introducing automation and making sure all these capabilities, right, they can be utilized for your customers in a best possible way, so that in one trigger you can definitely optimize a specific flow in a most fantastic, right, actually smoothest kind of like a user experience actually. So it's all about a lot of
Noted.
automation, world of APIs, connectivities, right? Dashboards, right? Actually, a lot of telemetries and privilege accesses, managements, and all everything. I think your agents and your panel controls can happen through mobile phones. It's a beautiful world when we move ahead in structuring all those things, both from front end and back end, right? But that's what I see in next 20 years.
I personally love a good dashboard. I love a nice easy to read dashboard that has all the information that I need, nice, neat little graphs and charts. So hopefully we can get that for you sooner than 10 or 20 years and give you access to all of that information. Thank you so much, Aniket, for taking the time to speak with us, to share your wisdom and your advice and all the ways that JumpCloud has benefited you. Hopefully, we can continue, a nice long relationship between Circles and JumpCloud. Thank you again, and speak to you soon.
Perfect. Thank you so much.